Dual pole radar up for you. It is the only live Doppler radar in Connecticut, and it's showing rain in the New London area.
Yeah, so we're starting off with our ICAM because it's cloudy and rain is falling in southeast Connecticut, and it's coming down at a pretty good clip. You can see the state's only live radar there sweeping through the activity in southeastern Connecticut. So some heavier rain right over Voluntown right now, where you see those oranges and those reds. That's also the case around North Stonington, southward into Mystic and Groton, as well as along, say, Montville, heading a little bit farther west there. Some heavier rain about to move into Chester, Deep River, and Essex.
And people in northwest Connecticut are waking up this morning. I just got an email from Cindy in Falls Village. She's got some clouds out there. It's just basically cloudy out there. And you're like, hey, where's the storm? It's coming.
Oh, yeah. And it's going to be a long duration event. So, you know, we talked about leading up to today that rain would be falling by daybreak Sunday. That is certainly coming to fruition. And the wind, it's also starting to intensify across eastern and southeast Connecticut, and that will only continue as the day moves forward.
That's right. We're seeing gusts in excess of 20 to 25 miles an hour right now in parts of southeast Connecticut. And this is going to be a high impact storm. It's very rare that we see these getting into the reds and highs. I mean, it's been decades since a storm of this magnitude has moved into Connecticut. So we're talking about heavy rain, marked damaging winds, power outages. Of course, as Eversource has been telling us, prepare for power outages for days. Coastal flooding and storm surge. We've got the astronomically higher tide due to the full sturgeon moon. And Mark, there's even that opportunity for isolated tornadoes. You know, hurricanes do spawn tornadoes. Yeah, so as soon as they move over land, we've got the wind, we've got the rain, and then we do have that threat for a brief spin up. We saw this on Thursday with the remnants of Fred. So the Storm Prediction Center outlining in the second shade of green the marginal risk area. So eastern Connecticut, Rhode Island, much of eastern Massachusetts is where we could see the highest likelihood if a tornado were to possibly quickly spin up. So we're going to be monitoring all different facets of this storm. Of course, centered now less than 80 miles to the south of Montauk. It is heading toward the north-northwest at around 18 miles an hour. So likely arriving near or just to the east of the Connecticut-Rhode Island border, say between noon and 2 p.m. today, and then making a slow progress to the north-northwest. So as it makes landfall and then moves over land at weekends, but it also slows in its forward speed. So by later tonight into early tomorrow, 2 a.m. Monday, the center of the storm, what's left of it at this point, is going to be up near the Massachusetts-Vermont border. And Mark, just because you're not in that cone doesn't mean you're not going to get storm force. Of course, you're going to be dealing with it in parts of northwest and southwest Connecticut. Just because you're not in that cone doesn't mean anything. Yeah. So you know, notice how wide the cone is up across the Gulf of Maine. That's because we're day 4, day 5. It's because we're closer in time that the width of the cone is much narrower, and that's because there's a higher likelihood of where the storm is going to track as it's closer to where we are in time. Yes, to the west of the storm track, we're talking about the heaviest rain potential. From the track eastward is where we anticipate, of course, the strongest, most damaging wind. So while this is certainly a shift to the east from where we were over the past 12 to 24 hours, the wind potential still is going to be great here in Connecticut, but perhaps not as bad as it once could have been. So the center of the storm there, again, you can see over a 6-hour period of time closing in on the southeastern New England shoreline here, perhaps clipping, again, Montauk, the Twin Forks of Long Island, as it heads in the general direction of southeastern Connecticut. And, you know, as we were talking about a little bit earlier in the show, this was yesterday an 8 p.m. landfall that has backed up significantly to late morning into the early afternoon, possibly a 1, 2 o'clock landfall here in parts of southeast Connecticut, right up against the Rhode Island border. And you can see it there on Futurecast. This is 10 o'clock this morning. And as we progress it, those bands just continue to move from southeast to northwest. This is noontime, Mark. Look at that. Yeah, making landfall again near the Connecticut-Rhode Island border, and then the center of that storm of the circulation heading from southeast to northwest, again, creating very heavy rain and a flooding concern across the western half of the state. By 6 o'clock, 7 this evening, the rain may not be as intense. The wind will start to maybe not be as strong as it will be between now and then, but the storm is going to be slow to exit. It's going to kind of hang out across eastern New York and then eventually pivot back across New England as we head throughout the day tomorrow. You can see the center circulation there. So it won't be until tomorrow night that the storm finally exits. So there's still that threat for heavy rain tomorrow to further the concern for flooding. So we could see between now and tomorrow night 3 to 6 inches of rain across Connecticut, perhaps some 8
to 10-inch totals. Of course, that's not good as it is. And then factor in that we had the remnants from Fred this past Thursday, where we had in the Hartford area and near the 84 corridor upwards of 5, if not more, inches of rain. So the ground already saturated in parts of Connecticut.
All right, you can see the winds. These are the sustained winds, not the gusts, anywhere from 8 to 17 in Groton. But there are gusts now, and they are advancing a little bit further to the north and west. We're starting to see gusts at Brainerd. And as you can see from Futurecast, tomorrow's wind gusts today. We pause it right around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Those winds are going to be gusty.
So, Scott, this is a new update.
Yeah, this is a new update.
This is a new update from this specific model run, showing the center there of this storm. This run would have takes the landfall over coastal Rhode Island and then moves it to the northwest. So we'll continue to monitor that for you. But it's near that storm center that we could get some of those wind gusts up to 60 to maybe 70 miles an hour.
Looks like we're going to be on the wet side, and that means, as Mark was just talking about, several inches of rain on top of what we already got from Fred. Look for flooding to be taking place in the state. Not a good scenario. Beautiful ICAM right now in Hartford. It is literally the calm before the proverbial storm. All right, 6:21. We're going to continue our team coverage with Wendell and Caitlin. Guys, good morning to you.